She explained, she's building the brand of her as a philanthropist. But actually the other thing I thought was that when she was highlighting the work and this great work. Twist of greatness, if anyone wants to go and have a look in America. And what she was doing though was so royal. I mean, that's what the royals do, they highlight, it's not about them, they highlight the good work of other people. They put the limelight and a spotlight on ordinary people, and of course Meghan, as we know, likes the limelight being on herself. As a royal, she could never have done that chat. Princess Eugenie and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, were visiting them in Canada, and joined them on the knees up. Meghan also took part in a prank segment where she was fed lines and directions from Ellen to perform on unsuspecting members of the public. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are believed not to be planning to make a comeback to the UK to spend the Christmas holidays at Sandringham with the Queen and the rest of the royal family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex already skipped celebrations the past 2 years, first due to a 6-week break with their son Archie Harrison in Canada, and then due to the pandemic. But in 2021, broadcaster Matthew Wright suggested the couple may choose to avoid spending Christmas with the royal family to spare their young daughter Lilibet Diana the stress of a lengthy flight. Mr. Wright drew from his personal experience with a newborn when he told This Morning, "There's so much speculation. They're coming over, they're not coming over. They're coming over to show the child, they don't want to show the child. I know that when we had Cassidy, we wouldn't contemplate getting on a long-haul flight for the first 18 months of her lives. COVID came along and denied us that chance anyway." He added, "Lilibet is 5-6 months old, I think it's perfectly understandable they wouldn't necessarily want to cross half the planet for Christmas." Lilibet Diana was born in Santa Barbara on June 4, 2021, and has yet to meet the Queen or her grandfather, Prince Charles, in person. The royal family traditionally spends Christmas together at the Norfolk residence but was forced to shelve plans for the get-together last year due to the pandemic. The Queen was spotted at Sandringham 2 weeks ago amid speculation of Her Majesty checking in to ensure plans are on their way to welcome the family back in residence. Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers told podcast Pod Save the Queen, she wanted to go to the big house, Sandringham, and have some meetings with the staff about what is happening in the coming weeks. But she also spent some time at Wood Farm, and that is, obviously, where her husband Prince Philip spent his final years after he retired in 2017. I think that tells you where the Queen is at. She needed to be there, she needed to seek some solace. It had been a particularly tough couple of weeks. She TMD been in hospital and she TMD been told by doctors that she needed to slow down. While the Duke and Duchess of Sussex may not be making their way back to the United Kingdom for Christmas, Prince Charles might have given away plans to hold a special celebration with the couple later on. Upon his 2-day visit to Jordan this week, the Prince of Wales was gifted with water from the River Jordan. The special water has traditionally been used to baptize new members of the royal family. The Queen this year welcomed Lilibet Diana in addition to Princess Beatrice's daughter Sienna, Princess Eugenie's son August, and Zara Phillips' son Lucas. Michelle Bachmann was invited on Monday night to react to the latest White House controversy sparked by a CNN article. According to the report, Harris and her top aides are frustrated with President Joe Biden for handing her no-win issues like the border crisis. White House insiders who talked to CNN also said the vice president's team had complained that the portfolio handed to her was small fry compared to her tenure as the first woman named VP. "She sounds a lot like Meghan Markle, to be honest with you," said Ms. Bachmann on air. Both of these are very entitled people who claim constant victim class. A member of the Republican Party of Minnesota, the former congresswoman claimed Biden and Harris were failing the Democrats. When the President of the United States has approval ratings at 37 and 38% and they're dropping by the day, and Kamala Harris is down at 28%, that means they're losing their own party. As a matter of fact, it's the party that is kicking at these two. On the same day, Vice President Harris was seen being very supportive of Joe Biden from a speech she delivered before the photographers. Her kind words were due to the official signature of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill that previously divided the American Congress for weeks. Kamala Harris said in her speech, "From the very start, you welcomed Democrats, Independents, and Republicans to meet with us in the Oval Office. You welcomed ideas. You welcomed debate, all in the service of getting this bill done. And here is what I know to be true, Mr. President, you are equal parts believer and builder. And because you are, we are all better off. On behalf of our nation, thank you, Mr. President." Simone Sanders, the Vice President's spokesperson, denied the allegations made by CNN. She said, "It is unfortunate that after a productive trip to France in which we reaffirmed our relationship with America's oldest ally and demonstrated U.S. leadership on the world stage, and following passage of a historic, bipartisan infrastructure bill that will create jobs and strengthen our communities, some in the media are focused on gossip, not on the results that the President and the Vice President have delivered." Mr. Bashir used dishonest methods later covered up by a woefully ineffective internal investigation by Tony Hall, later the BBC Director General. The Earl of Spencer said, "Lord Dyson did a very good job. His brief was tiny. It was to look at a very specific area, and there is still so much more to look at in the broader terms of who was responsible for what. How did it come to this? Did documents get hidden from view? All sorts of really important stuff which is yet to come out. So I see the Lord Dyson report as a very welcome development, but there is still a long way to go with this." Earl Spencer told BBC Breakfast it was clear to him that there are certain people who were in the BBC, who have behaved in a way that is truly abysmal and possibly criminal. He was asked how far he would take his investigation. He said, "That is the question, and I have got people looking at that, and we will see. It is not going to end now. I am not saying that as some ugly threat. It just can't stop now, as there is still more to come out." A BBC spokesman told The Telegraph, "Today's BBC has aimed to be as open and transparent as possible about the events of 25 years ago. We held an independent, judge-led investigation which was concluded within 6 months, and, separately, BBC News commissioned an edition of Panorama in which journalists robustly investigated their own employer. While the BBC cannot turn back the clock after a quarter of a century, we made a full and unconditional apology the day Lord Dyson's report was published." Martin Bashir is a British journalist formerly of the BBC. He is also known for his 2003 ITV documentary about Michael Jackson. The latest series of the Netflix show The Crown, which dramatizes the life of Queen Elizabeth II from the 40s to modern times, will detail the last years before Diana's death. Elizabeth Debicki will depict the late princess in season 5, while Dominic West will play Prince Charles. The show has recreated the moment Diana donned an off-shoulder, short tight black Versace dress for her arrival at the Serpentine Gallery in London, in 1994. The infamous incident occurred on the same night Prince Charles admitted to committing adultery on TV. The outfit was deemed a break of royal protocol as it bared so much flesh, and the public viewed the dress as a move to hit back at her husband. The streaming giant has recreated the moment at the same location inside Kensington Gardens, which is just 800 meters from the Duke of Cambridge TMS front door. Industry insiders have claimed William, 39, will be enraged by the decision to film in such close proximity to his abode. A TV insider told The Sun, they could have chosen any location to recreate this scene, but they opted to select a spot which can almost be viewed by William from his bedroom window. Just imagine if he had seen. There TMS also likely to be questions asked about how a permission was given to use a royal park to film a drama which the royal family has been so deeply unhappy about. The insider also claimed it was bewildering that Netflix had been given permission to film at the grounds just meters away from the home of Prince William. The Crown has been criticized for its dramatic license in previous seasons. The fifth season of the award-winning show is expected to feature a series of controversial issues facing the royal family in the 90s. It will chronicle the divorce of Prince Charles and Princess Diana, and the fallout from Diana's death. Filming for the fifth season of the Netflix drama began in June. The new season of The Crown is expected to be aired on Netflix in November 2022. Imelda Staunton will play the Queen, and the late Prince Philip will be played by Jonathan Pryce. Netflix have been contacted by express.co.uk for comment.